Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a gentleman here. Um, One of the few, I can't say I know him totally, but I'm kind of impressed. I'm learning more and more about him by the hour, and it's starting to get impressive. One of the things I have to say to our community is sometimes we need to be informed and don't take things for granted because this gentleman here is going to identify himself. And for those who know him, who think they know him, maybe you should listen and be a little more informed of who the person is. So if you want to introduce yourself and give a little of your background, um, we obviously, we're doing the history of the Caribbean soccer here in Toronto, and you were chosen as one of the younger guys who have run the league, a Caribbean league. So you can give us a little background and how you end up getting this heavy job of running a Caribbean league here in Toronto.
No problem. I just want to say thank you for having me, and I'm very pleased and honored to just be able to kind of give back to all the different types of community that are out there right now. And hopefully, that this situation, once have completed it, someone will be able to look at it and gain some kind of insight from it. So, for me, my name is Marlon Washington. Many people know me as Randy Washington. That's the name that they call me. I came to Canada as a young boy with a lot of um, with a lot of experience in terms of soccer, sports, or athleticism, which I used to my advantage when I was young. Unfortunately, because I did not listen to my parents when I was being disciplined as a young man, I lost everything, which is one of the things I always want to share with the youth of tomorrow, or the young people, or the adolescents of tomorrow, or the adolescents or the young people of the future, as we will direct them to be. So I was grounded for whatever reason. I might have, done something that I should not have done. My dad said, no, you're not allowed to go out. Despite what he said, I went outside, and on the back of a go-kart, I fell off, crack, broke, shift, destroyed my leg. So I lost everything. And it's all soccer scholarship and track scholarship. That was it. So one thing I want to say before I move forward is, young people, listen to your family, listen to your mom and your dad. They set the rules, they know your future. As time went on, I continued to play the game of soccer and try to run track, but it was never the same. Could never get back what I once had. All scholarships that were there were gone. My life was basically torn apart because of a silly mistake. My passion for the sports did not leave. My passion for soccer and track and field continued, and I played West Rouge Soccer, and I played in many other organizations until we got into the Malvern Soccer with Lance and some other gentlemen I met up upon, and we kind of formed a relationship.
So the Malvern Soccer, that's the youth soccer, Malvern Youth Club.
Malvern Youth Club, it was the name of
And
it.
I just want to clarify that because there's another Malvern that you're going to be mentioning. So I want to make sure we get it
Right.
clear that that's the Malvern.
So this is Malvern Youth Soccer with Lance Stewart. So I met Lance many years ago, and we built a relationship over the youth soccer, which I was quite impressed with what he was doing. But for me, I wanted to capture more of the youth, or let's say the youth, which is, I think it's 16 to 25. That's the audience that I wanted to capture. So these would be more so the young people who had an opportunity to become great and go on to do great works, but for whatever reason, they were not able to. So therefore, they were here in Toronto. But I did not want them to not continue playing the sport of soccer. We wanted to give them an opportunity where they can continue playing the sport that they love, and in an area where they can, participate, build peer relationship, and continue on their journey in hopes that something great can happen. So maybe keeping their athleticism intact.
What was the progression from that got you involved elsewhere? What was the success? Was there a successful venture? and how you got involved with the Malvern. I guess it's a long name. We
Yes,
knew it as the Malvern Friendship, but I guess when you took it over, and ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this is a long list. I was talking to the founder of the Malvern League, which is Noel Denny and Owen, and it was passed on to Smalley, passed on to Rawl, and then passed on, if I remember correctly, to you. Now, all I'm saying is, and this is a very important part of the exercise we're doing here with everybody. How did you get to running this Malvern League?
so as I mentioned, Lance Stewart. So Lance Stewart had more of the younger kids that they were playing, and he was developing and doing a great job with them. For me, it's about getting a lot of the kids that had nowhere to play, that might have grown out of Lance's um, age bracket, but was refused from going forward because of one, academics, two, maybe they were not part of an elite club, or they were just maybe not good enough, right? So there's many reasons, but one of the reasons that I will focus on right now, which will be another lesson, is for all who's listening right now, for all who's paying attention, first and foremost, the NCAA requires that if you would like a scholarship for soccer, basketball, or whatever it may be, your first 16 core credits have to be at the academic level, and you have to be averaging 80%. So, people might say, wow, you know what? 80% academic, I can get in, I'm a great player, I would just take, general subjects and I'll be okay. No, it does not work like that. If you're taking in grade 9 and you're taking all academics and one general, you've lost all opportunity for a scholarship. Then for a division one, you might be able to go into a division two or division three or be redshirt, right? But for a division one scholarship, you have to have your first 16 core courses at the academic level. So many of these players who came to play for the Malvern Men's Sports Association and League, which is the name that I acquired, and again I will stop again. So the way that I got this league was um, from Raw. He was one of the guys who had it before me, and I think Noel had it before him. And I'm not, I don't want to put anyone down, I will not, but it was not where it was handed down to me. I took it upon myself where I saw a league that was once in existence where members did not know what to do. And I came in because I was part of Malvern. I kind of put the word out that this is what we're going to be starting, and we started off with, I think it was 9 or 11 teams.
So hold on there. The impression I'm getting now is that instead it wasn't like Randy, I can't cope with this anymore. And if you have the time, are you willing to? And these are the papers, and these are the teams, and no. So it lapsed. There was a lapse in between where there was no league or nothing functional for the following season, or how did that work? Because it's something to me that it wasn't a handover documents or team name, team list, or anything like that. Is that correct? Is that a fair assessment?
It was not a handover. It was not a turnkey operation. It was an operation where I believe the previous owners had failed or had lost contact with the team leaders in the community. They did not know where they were, and these leaders did not look to those guys as guys who can carry this league to the next level. So with that being said, and then there was a problem with the soccer field and all of these different things, which is a regular thing in Toronto for us, finding a field that maybe the city will trust that we will go in and kind of, conduct ourselves accordingly and, pay the rent and or pay the bills and all of those different things. So, coming from the previous people, it was not a turnkey operation. So what I did, I created a pamphlet and I handed it out to Centennial College, Seneca College, and I just posted it around. Eventually, teams started calling, and I said, "This is what we're going to be doing." And I think, like I said, it was 9 or 11 teams, and we charge a fee. We had the name. created a schedule, and away we went in 2007.
Oh, I'm now going to ask that. Okay, 2007. So we're in 2021.
Yeah.
Forget 2020. How long did the league operate?
The league operated for 11 years.
Okay. How was it? What was the experience like, as an experienced person, in terms of if you had somebody who's willing to do that type of job, um, give them the satisfaction you had and the challenges that you overcome. Not that it took it away from you, but that they have to rise to a certain level to maintain it.
The league was a great league. It was, like I said, we started with 9 or 11 teams. I think the second or third year we had 16 teams playing on the Malvern field and Hub field. Two fields, I think was 4 games on each field. It was great. It was exciting. It was a non-violent event. There was never any type of violent situation. You will have guys arguing, disputing calls, and all of those things. But I mean, for the most part, 16 teams and probably 1,000 people coming and going on a Sunday. It was great. There's little ups and downs in terms of cleanup and those things, which was one of my biggest challenges, and I'm not going to hide it. But we kind of try to fix it at times. There was times within our group and the players, they were able to fix it, but most of the problems came from outsiders, spectators who just had nothing to do, and that caused the problem within our organization, right? So that was one of the biggest challenges that I had, and it probably is a challenge everywhere today, right? The cleanup, but it was fun. It was exciting. There was a lot of growth throughout the league. Many players came through the league and advanced on to the older league, which would be the next step that we would probably go into, right? Which is the
Yes.
over 35, right?
So
So
what happened? What happened? You said you had it for how long?
11 years.
Okay. So the 11th year is what year? 2019? 20,
That's 2018. I believe
2020?
October of 2018 was the final game.
What happened? What happened?
So what happened at the final game was just many of the
Did it
team members.
finish? Did it finish 2018? Did you
Yeah,
have the finals and everything
yeah.
else? The
We
award
wrapped up.
presentation? The award presentation?
We had the award presentation. I think that final game was at Thompson Park. It's either was at Thompson Park or Malvern. I can't remember. But we had the final game. We wrapped up everything. And then in 2019, again, many of the managers have a lot of players. And as those players got older, our body, there's wear and tear. Malvern was a competitive league. Some of my players were 16, 17, 18, and 19. It's very difficult to play with a 17-year-old when you're 34, right? It's hard,
Yeah.
A 17-year-old his bones can break, but at 34, you have a job, you have family, you're not going to really take that chance. So many of the players decided to transition from the more competitive league to a different type league. Yet the League at Thompson was competitive as well.
So that's an age to the league at Thompson. Basically, what you're saying was an over 35 league or
was an over 35 league, while the Malvern League was an open division.
So you start having players having choices. So in that 2018, was there some writing on the wall where you could have foresawn that you're in trouble? Registration wise, or what caused that decision, or was that decision made right after that awards?
I think right after the award, some managers came to me and told me that a lot of their players are transitioning. Not a lot of their players, so a lot of their key players were transitioning to the older league, and therefore it's going to weaken their team in terms of bringing a competitive team back to Malvern. So they did have this conversation with me. So, as more teams found out about what's happening at Thompson Park, the Malvern League slowly, in that conversation, we just kind of decided, you know what, we're going to take a year off, kind of restructure what's going on and hopefully come back in 2019. Unfortunately, I didn't want to take that year off, even though for me, running a league for 11 years, I think that was my retirement from that league. I wanted to pass it on to someone else, because, I know a league takes a lot to get going, and to have someone come into Malvern, start from scratch, went through all that I went through in 2007 wouldn't have been fair. So I reached out to some of the younger youths, try to ask them, I have all the information. I have the website, I have the goal nets, I have everything. Just come in, I will show you, and you can take this league and run with it. But I think, it's different when you have one person running a league for so long. To bring in new faces, you have to worry about the trust issue, the confidence issue. Are they going to be able to keep up to speed with what's been happening with the league? But, that's what happened to the Malvern League. We just slowly drifted apart. And, we've had conversation over the past little while about bringing it back, but I like it's hard, like when you leave something that you've been a part of for so long, to bring it back and have it that exact same way. It's like a relationship.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, I understand that part, but you don't see the feasibility of a younger or other people getting that pros and cons from you, and you just being there advising them at a distance without committing time or anything like that. That's not feasible either.
Of course it is. It's feasible, but to find that person, like I said, many have tried and has listened, but to do the work is another thing, right? To come into Malvern to do the work, it's just not coming in and saying, I'm going to get some teams and run a league, right? You have to line the field. You have to prepare the schedule. You have to get the permit. You have to pay the bills, right? All of those things. There's a lot of things that goes on throughout the days in terms of teams, dealing with referees, cleanup, and all of those different things. It's a responsibility, right? It is a job. It is a job for a nonprofit organization that does not pay, right?
Yeah. Well, that's most important.
Yes, you have to love the sport. You have to love people, and you have to want to see the best come out of the youth of tomorrow. It's progression, right? You have to want to see certain things happen in your culture that is not happening. You want to see kids who are in the malls participate in a sport, to give them something to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Malvern provided. It provided an environment where people can come and sit down and be like regular people amongst their culture.
So obviously, Randy, we kind of missing that. So you seem to have a certain passion, even the way you just explained it there. So I can't believe that you're not missing it, and I can't believe that you're just gonna let it just ride like that. So I don't know what. I mean, I can't really ask you to give your time because you gave 11 years. But from looking at the other league that you say players have progressed into based on age, I don't really see a future besides having fun and socializing on the other side, which which is justifiable. I don't really, but I think we leaving the kids a little bare and naked for too long. So
well, here's a story. The Malvern field is available. It is there. If tomorrow a group of men decide to call me and say, you know what, we want to get it going, my passion is there. However, my passion is there to teach and promote the league. But to be front and center, I don't have that time, because my time is needed elsewhere in a different sport, such as basketball.
okay, so you basketball.
Yes.
But in the beginning, you only mentioned track and soccer. Well, where's basketball fitting in now?
You know what? Track and field is my number one, because when it came to speed, I was that. Soccer, if you have the speed, you might as well take the ball along with you.
And the basketball?
The basketball, if you have the speed, all you got to do is use your hands. So basketball is my third love. I played basketball at a young age as well, and you know what? I wasn't a really great basketball player, but I was most a critical type of person. I knew what it took for an athlete to get where they had to go, and that's what I worked on. Those type of skills, right? To develop those athletes. And that's my passion now. It's just like soccer. It's like developing soccer players. It's like training a runner, right? I'm good at coaching, right? And doing those various things when it comes to looking at an athlete and guiding him. You know, you want to run fast, this is what you need to do. You want to play soccer and be good at it, this is what you need to do.
Well,
Basketball.
that's what I was going to ask you. We're not necessarily talking about you actually playing. Are you talking from the nurturing coaching point of view, or are you talking from the actual play? Because
I'm coaching. I'm coaching and developing
in
young basketball.
basketball,
Yes.
wow, well, you seem to be a busy guy. So, well, boy, Randy, any last words where you can? You said the field is available.
The Malvern field is available through the city of Toronto. The Mother Teresa field is available through the Toronto Catholic District School Board, right? And like I said, if I will, you know, make one last attempt this week to try to see if I can contact a lot of the captains and see if it's something we can put together and start something with my help and showing them what they need to do. And maybe someone will step up and try to see if they can, you know, start something for a younger group that's up and coming and maybe transition some of these kids into the league, right? I have no problem doing that. And I'd love to see Malvern, you know, come back to how it used to be with the new generation and give this new generation of kids something to do rather than just be lingering in the streets. So yes, I will make that call this end of this week and see how that goes.
Well,
Right.
hopefully, we're not trying to do something that, you know, we're always supposed to come back bigger and better, as they say.
Right.
We can't come back just because we miss it without structure in it, where it's supposed to go more than 11 years. Because after going 11 years to come back and go 3 years and have excuses, that don't make sense. So we
That's why I
need
guess
people to really commit. You really need people to commit. It's not that we more the plans too, because the plans are there. And you know, once it's going to be a competition, so you would have the ups and downs of winning and losing.
Well, once you have a proper plan, you will have the commitment. The plan involves the commitment, right? It's a conversation that you would sit down with a group of individuals and you would talk about it, right? That's the one thing that we fail to do. We fail to plan, right? But in order to go forward, proper preparation prevent poor performance. That's what I believe. Those are my 5 P's. If we prepare, we'll be okay. And we need to do a lot more of that. So in sitting down with individuals, right, if we can sit down, plan, prepare for what that performance will look like, we will achieve our goals.
Okay, well that sounds good. So how are you making out with the COVID? It would be remiss if I don't ask you how you're doing, because we're planning things and we have no control over certain things. So let's just finish by saying how you're handling this COVID, and so this plans and preparation could fulfill itself at a later date.
Yes, you know what? COVID has been a struggle, and there's not much we can do. It's a fight that we basically have to just listen to the medical officers and abide by the rules of social distancing and staying home when we need to, wearing our mask and all of those different things. I know sometimes we're ahead of ourselves when we're planning all of these things, and respectfully, you know, yes, we do have to take into consideration, you know, what will be opening, what will be available, you know, the limits, will it be social distancing on the field, or all of those different things. But I think after being, been through this for a year now, I think many people are just anxious. They're just eager to just, get out and do some form of exercise, some form of fun, because, we've lost all of that, right? And it's for many, you've seen the numbers where so many families have been destroyed. If not for the relationship, it is for the jobs and all of those things, right? So I think just as a person myself, I just want to just get out and meet and greet and have a conversation and talk to friends and make sure they still have their family and things are just going okay for them. So that's what it's all about, But you know what? We just got to leave it up to the man upstairs and hope that he can pave that way for us. And we have to trust in him that when that time is right, we'll be okay.
All right, Randy, well said. So I want to thank you for giving me the time, and we'll stay in touch. And you
Yes.
take care and stay safe.
All right.
All
You
right.
too.
Okay, bye.
Easy. Bye-bye.